All right. So here is our robot. Okay. He's a pretty simple form. Lots of cuboids and some cylinders. I know, I like saying that word too, cuboid. All right. So there's a couple ways to do this, right? You could, in theory, do one big rectangle for all of it, get the angles right, then subdivide that rectangle, section by section. What I'm going to do, though, is kind of build it a section at a time on up through the object. All right, so just keep in mind that I've only got one of these. I don't have a whole bunch, like the car. So you won't be able to see this as I'm drawing it, but just know that this is the angle right here that I'm going to be drawing it from, okay? It'll just be off to the side here. So the first thing I'm going to do, obviously, is my anchor line way down here at the bottom. A nice, straight, horizontal line. Then I'm going to draw the rectangle for the feet. As you can see here, the feet are two squares that, when stuck together, consist of one long rectangular shape, or form, I should say. So again, with the angle, I'm going to go a little wider than 90 degrees. Something like this. Okay. Keep those opposing edges parallel. Like so. Okay. Now I'm going to subdivide it, keeping that parallel with the others, that edge and parallel with the others, into two sections like that. Now I'm going to go up straight vertically from each corner. I'm not going to go too far though. And I'm going to top off the box. Now the reason why I'm going not very far up is because I have a bevel right here. See the bevel? So I'm going to go up, and then I'm going to do another section, and I'm going to account for this tilting bevel right here. So make sure I've got all my lines drawn. Make sure they're all pretty parallel. I'm going to go up. Now you could go straight up and build another box and then tilt it. I'm going to do a little shortcut here. And I'm just going to tilt my lines a little bit. On the back as well. And the key to doing this is just making sure that all the tilted lines are parallel. I actually don't quite like that. I'm going to go a little bit more angled. Like that. And then I'm going to draw a line across that way, keeping it parallel with the other parts of my box. I'm doing the same for the back edge there. The back edge is a little tricky because it's sort of coming at you. So this now accounts for the bevel on the feet. Now we want to start the legs. So if we look at this from the side, we can see that the legs are pretty much aligned towards the back of the feet. There's more space up here than back here. So when I draw the boxes, I want them to be back here. So since I've already got this midline here, I'm going to just use that. And have that be the center. And then I'm just going to kind of draw a rectangle across. And there, now I have two rectangles. It's getting a little tricky to keep my angles even from where I'm drawing. Just got to do the best I can. All right, so now we're going to go up for the legs. So we're going to go straight verticals again, parallel with the edges of your paper. Straight up from the corners. Like so. And I'm just going to kind of estimate, looking at the object and saying, okay, this is about where the legs stop. Might be a little bit off, but close enough. So I draw the top of my box parallel with everything else I've got. Subdivide it like so. So now I've got two rectangles next to each other, centered on the feet. Now I've got three sections of leg here. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to subdivide those rectangle forms that I just made. And again, you're just going to have to eyeball it so that they're all pretty equal. 1, 2, 3. You are going to have some occasions where lines overlap each other. You're just going to have to do the best you can and concentrate and make sure you are always drawing the right edge. Okay, we're going to add our midsections again. So what we're left with are now 6. They should be pretty equal squares. Are you with me so far? Yeah? Okay. Now I'm going to subdivide those, find the midpoint. Horizontally and vertically. Now I'm going to draw my ellipses inside. And if I have done this correctly, I should be able to draw ellipses that are not only smooth and even with no lumps or points or anything like that. Remember, no footballs. They should all be the same size, and they should all be aligned in the center. I should be able to draw a straight line through the center of these and have them be straight. If not, then you've done something wrong somewhere. You got to go back and backtrack through your steps and maybe redraw something. All right, as I draw these ellipses, I am ghosting, what's called ghosting my pencil. I'm already starting that circular motion before my pencil even hits the paper, right? And I am just touching the outer points of this square to give myself a nice, smooth, round ellipse. Okay? Everything should be pretty equally spaced. And the top of one of these is going to be the bottom of the other. All right? So it looks like you might not have enough, but you will. All right? And then you're going to connect each of these ellipses with an arced line. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Same on the other side. You can kind of lightly pencil these in because they're behind, but 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So now he's got those Michelin Man legs. You guys know who the Michelin Man is? Yeah. Okay, so, all right. There we go. That matches up. Now we're going to do the torso. Okay, note the torso tapers at the waist. It's thin and then it gets wider at the shoulders. And also note that the legs are kind of aligned towards the back of the torso. There's a little more space up here. He's got a little bit of a, of a gut up there. Okay? Too many tacos or something. It's kind of like my problem. All right. So from the back, I'm going to start another square. Give myself a little more room on the edges. And then come out a little further on the front than you need to. When I'm looking at the robot from this angle, almost this entire first row of segments is overlapped. I don't even really see it from my viewpoint. So I want to come out far enough so that that matches what I see somewhere out in here. Okay? So something in that neighborhood is what I want. And again, if you need to go back and touch up a few of these things, you can. But you want to leave all of your foundation lines visible. Okay? Now we're going to go up. But instead of going straight up, I am going to, again, kind of look at the object and tilt my lines just a little bit. Not a lot. So we're kind of contradicting ourselves now, because normally I say go straight up vertically and keep your lines parallel. Now you're going to come up at an angle, and now these two are going to be parallel with each other. And then you're going to do the same on this side, except tilting the other way. And now these two are going to be parallel. You don't want to do it too much, otherwise you're going to have this, his shoulders are going to be huge and he's going to look weird. So somewhere in there should be good enough. Now this should be parallel with everything else. Now we're going to draw the top of this cuboid form that's sort of like a parallelogram. I don't know what you'd really call it. Like so. Right? Now, we've got another bevel here. So I'm going to draw some more tilted lines. Now we've got the body of the robot. Now we're going to do the head.